So one of the companies that I invested early on in my investing journey has filed for bankruptcy. So Avaya Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which means that the shares are pretty much now worthless. What will happen now is that the company will undergo restructuring, and the next priority would be to repay back the creditors, which means that the shareholders get pretty much nothing. So this is a message from Free Trade. Hi Jubair, important update on your investment of Avaya Holdings. Avaya Holdings Corp has been delisted from the New York Stock Exchange effective yesterday, 16th of February. The company shares are now trading only over the counter under the ticker AVYAQ. As a result, Free Trade will only support Avaya Holdings Corp shares on a close-only basis, meaning that I can only sell it. So when I go into my Free Trade Avaya Holdings holding, it is now worth 2 cents. And you can see over here that it is a loss of £911. That is £911 that I will never ever see again. So let this be a warning to you beginner investors to not take advice that you hear on YouTube about particular stocks. In fact, I have always recommended that nobody actually picks individual stocks themselves. This is because without knowing the financials of the company, so without looking into Avaya Holdings' previous financials, we would not have known what the company was holding in cash and if they were getting into trouble with big debt. And it seems like they were having troubles with debt. And actually, if we looked back in the history further, we could have seen that they actually filed for bankruptcy 5 years ago, but it didn't go through and they kind of recovered from that. So it's very important to understand the financials of a company, how much money they have, how much debt they have, and if they have enough cash to cover their expenses, to grow their business, to invest into their business. And overall, great companies such as Alphabet and Apple have a lot of cash to cover their expenses, but even then, no one can tell where they will be headed in the next few years. Even the best analyst might be able to predict it, but no one actually knows where a stock will go. Diversity is super important when investing in stocks to grow your long-term wealth. This is why I always recommend investing in ETFs into a platform such as InvestEngine, which only invests in ETFs. However, you can buy ETFs on any other platform such as Trading 212 or Free Trade. ETFs are a collection of many different stocks, and an ETF such as the S&P 500 will actually replace companies that become bankrupt with better performing companies, so you don't have to ever worry about a company becoming bankrupt, delisting from the stock exchange, and you essentially losing that entire lump sum of money. Now, £900 is a lot of money even for me, and that would have probably stung so much more if it was a few years ago. But since then, I know a lot more about investing. I made tons of videos about how to invest properly. I believe the risk and reward ratio is always going to be there, but in terms of growing your long-term wealth, I don't think there's anything better than ETFs. So yeah, I'm over £900 down. That is money that I'm never going to be seeing again, but I want this to be a lesson to all of you watching. Essentially, this is why I created the channel, to show you my investment journey. It is not always going to be perfect. I am not always going to be able to time the market, or even with ETFs, I'm not going to always get the returns that I want to get. Just for now, you can even see that even the S&P 500 has been rallying and then crashing and rallying and then crashing. So overall, there's really not much you can do apart from stay consistent in your investments and only look at it with the lens of long-term only. So now that my first delisting has been out of the way, I wonder what other companies I might see in the future being bankrupt. Honestly, it is quite likely in my free trade portfolio, as I always show. For example, there's companies like this which are already around 80% down. Clover Health is minus 90%, which is £811 loss. Not exactly realized yet, but you know what? That could be the next bankruptcy. And you know, all these hundreds of pounds actually stack up, and if you look at the loss in my portfolio, it's over £6,000. So yeah, don't invest in individual stocks. Make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.